Right, straight in, let's crack on. So the aquarium we're using, guys, is from Aquariums for Life. It's an absolutely awesome aquarium. It uses 12mm opti-white glass. It's 90 centimeters in length, 60 centimeters front to back, and 60 centimeters up and down. This gives us a total of 324 liters, or 85.5 US gallons. Plenty of room for the 3 members of the ORanchu crew. The lighting is just a very basic 6500 Kelvin LED strip. Just normal white LEDs, nothing special, very budget. Something that everyone can afford, to be honest. So we've basically got everything we need and we're ready to go, but first of all I need to collect some stuff from my car. Click subscribe. Right, so that's our volcano mineral base layer sorted. It's basically just a load of really porous rocks that adds tons of surface area, which then provides a really good environment for beneficial bacteria to colonize. Really hard to say all that in one sentence, but I almost nailed it. And then on top of that, we're just gonna be dumping a load of sand, sort of mixed sands and gravels, making it like not too uniform. It will be initially, and then as I progress, I'll be adding detailed stuff to the top. The sand is going to get chucked around anyway, because the goldfish, they really love getting their little noses in, just pushing it all around. So anyway, look, I've got all my rocks out ready that I collected. These get some sort of formation like this. I'm not even certain yet. I just laid some out to see how they look together. That's the sand I'm going to be using, so I'm going to get that dumped in now, and then we can start moving some of these rocks in, play around with them on the top, and just see how they look. So the reason I'm not so worried about these bits of volcano mineral just sort of peeking through is because I've got plans to mix this sand in with other stuff anyway. So as I said before, we've got this stuff in here, which is like, you know, the Hugo Kamishi stuff. And then I've got a different coloured sort of fine sand as well, like a normal clay sand, if you like. And also, to go with all of these, in this bag, look, lots of smaller ones, and then even finer stuff. Look at how cool that just looks perfect together, doesn't it? How good's that gonna look? So we really don't need to worry about those few little bits poking through. It's all gonna add to the realism anyway. Combine that with the fact that basically I haven't got enough sand and I'm just making excuses for it, but I know it's gonna look good, don't worry about it. Yeah, so after some jiggery pokery and messing around, I really like that. It's very simple, obviously. It's not taking up a huge amount of space as well, which is key. That's what I wanted. I didn't want the scape to take up huge water volume because we need space for these giant fish. Goldfish get huge, remember. It looks a bit weird at the moment, guys, but trust me, I need to bank up behind the back a bit more. That's why I've done that. So that whole back area here, I'm going to get more sand and bank it up. It's not deep enough for planting at the moment. I just put my finger in, and yeah, in fact, we'll do it now, look. So at the moment, this is how deep it is. So up to my first point of my finger. That's not deep enough to hold down good plants, is it? This back area here, I need to pack out of a lot more sand because it's not deep enough. Now, I've already been to the shop and I've got more sand. Now, this stuff here has got like flecks of black in it, which this original sand didn't, but the stuff on top has, so hopefully that won't matter. Anyway, I'd like to keep that more to the background. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just pour it all in, keeping it more sort of shallow in the center, and then just building up two sort of mounds at the side, kind of like what I did with this aquarium here really. But this one's going to look a lot different to that, don't get me wrong. This is going to be a lot more sort of rounded and smooth looking. But first of all, yeah, I need to get that sand in so that we've got a place to put our stem plants in. We need to get them really anchored in, because I'm not sure what these goldfish are going to do. When I say these goldfish, I'm referring to these guys, the ORanchu crew. We've got Ember, we've got Ghost, and we've got Pumpkin. These guys are absolutely awesome, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them in their new aquarium. This one is like good, don't get me wrong, but I want something bigger and something better for them. That's what we're doing over there, around the corner there. Well, it turns out I really should have done this in a well ventilated area. The next thing I want to do, guys, is go out and get like the smaller detail rocks, just to scatter around all of these like nice rounded flat pebbles at the bottom, tie it all in nicely and give a nice, really nice bit of detail. Just give it some detail. Nice detail. What am I saying? Yeah, this is the stuff that I'm talking about in here. Look, so we've got loads of cool stuff to use. Get it in the tank. It was at exactly this point when I decided just to do what you've seen above, the full white ceiling, a lot more light in here. The reason for doing that is just I felt it was a bit gloomy, and I think it really has improved the look, as you've just seen in the previous vlog, so I'm not going to go on about it, but we need to get some plants sorted now, and I've got loads to choose from. So I've got that plant vat down there, and also that one down there. So they've got stems in, they've got plants that we've already got in this aquarium. So I don't want to do the same plants again, but I do want to mix it up a bit. But there will still be some of that. You know, Java fern looks good, moss looks good. So we'll have a little touch of those, and then try and keep it sort of islandy with some stems, crypts. I'm going to put them in, see how they fare. They might get ripped up. We've got a great selection of plants here. I'm really lucky. Tropical actually sent me these plants a while back now, probably about a month ago, and I've had them in my storage tank since. They've actually converted to their submerged state, because obviously they're grown out of water with the roots in like a nutrient-rich fluid. That's the fastest way to grow plants, but they look so good. I mean, oh, I'm spilling stuff. Look at that. These are the crypts. This is the crypt patchy, which like goes sort of a brownier colour eventually. The new leaves will do. They look amazing. We've got some Bucephalandra wavy green variety. That one is, look how nice that one is as well. All these are looking so good. I can't believe it. They're like great. They're not even got a lot of light in that tank either, because the amount of like floating plants you just saw in there. But look at that. That's a Nubius normal version. No, it's not. This is the petite variety. Yeah, so it's like smaller leaf. They stay small, which is good. I think that'll look good in there. And we've got the standard Bucephalandra as well, the Bucephalandra red. I say standard, but it's just, you know, Bucephalandra, you know. It's look at these flowers that were on there as well. There's another flower coming through there. So cool. Anyway, these are gonna look great. And then I've got the Rotala rotundifolia. That's been growing out for a while. Let's get those red tips to it as well, which you get red tips the closer you are to the light. I'm gonna put a few stems in there, but when I plant them into the, actually it's easier if I show you, but when I plant them into the sand, I'll be then placing a rock near that area, so, or a pebble, not so much a rock, a rounded pebble like what I've got, and that's going to stop the goldfish actually going in and just moving stuff around. So I think that'll work really well. That could be the key in keeping the planted plants in the sand, is to place like a border around them and stop the goldfish just wreaking havoc on them. And obviously don't forget to cover up your plants with like some paper towel, something, spray them down, and probably put them on something better than a desk chair. Anyway, we got the pebbles. So a little tip for you guys. This is super glue. It's like a super glue gel. This is cyanoacrylate super glue. It's really good. It instantly dries inert when it comes into contact with water, so it's completely fish safe. You know, I still get quite a lot of questions sent to me. Oh, is it safe to use super glue with fish? You're going to kill the fish. You know, it's completely fine, guys. I've used it since I started doing aquariums a few years back, and it's been perfect ever since. Lots of other fish tubers and people in general use it. It's completely safe. So with a lot of our plants, what we want to do is attach them to these pebbles. Plants like the Anubias, for instance, this big old boy, look, will sit perfectly. So I'll just choose one of the bigger ones. Put a pebble around it quickly, look, just get a little bit of moisture on it. The glue seems to sort of work better when there's a little bit of moisture on both surfaces. So anyway, take a glue, or just take the glue, top off, there we go. Just a little touch, you don't even need a lot of this stuff. So look, see that? Let me show you guys. Yeah, there, maybe there. That's pretty much it. That's what you'll need. Put the lid back on straight away because it continues to try and squeeze out. Take your plant, take your rock, and press it down. Now I'm leaving all the roots on this. I might trim some of the longer ones, but that, you know, the way I see it, they've grown to this size with these roots. They kind of need these roots. Like, why would you take them off? So I've just walked back in the studio, and guess who's back with us again? Your tiny tots, little tiny tots. I don't know why I call her that, I just always have done. All the plants are ready to go in. I'm just going to start placing them in and just take my time with it, but I'll time lapse it because it can take a while to get these things right. Now what we've got left to... We've got someone observing us. What we've got left is the crypts, the rotala, and another bit of crypts as well. You know, both the crypts are the same. I've got more crypts and rotala to go in. I've got some more stuff down in this storage tank here, but some of it's got some algae, so I want to make sure I stay clear of that, so take my time with that. But for now, let's just get these ones in and just see how that looks, and we can go from there. Now remember, this scape is a lot flatter than everything I usually do, and that's deliberate because obviously we want loads of swim room for the fish. The goldfish themselves are, you know, big fish, they need more swim room. There's no point in me moving them from that tank over there, putting them in here, and then just filling it all up with hardscaping plants, is it? That would completely defeat the object. But what will happen is I'll keep it so like nicely packed down below. I'm going to put more stems in the background of that side and of that side so we can fill out that lower section. And some of the plants will grow up tall, which is brilliant. But the key is keeping that hardscape lower. It does look different to usual, but I'm liking it so far. First thing I want to do now, guys, is just spray the whole thing down, loads and loads of water with the spray bottle, and what that'll do is it will sort of lock down some of the dust particles and stop the water getting so sort of cloudy when you first fill it up. So I think so far so good. Now I've managed to resist the temptation to just pack it full of plants already, but That doesn't mean I'm not gonna, right? You know, it's me at the end of the day. I love the plants. I mean, you've only got to look at these tanks, for example. Like, this is the dirted tank I did. It looks amazing in my eyes. Why would I cut it back? But I'm going to have to. And in fact, I'm going to use some of this Limnophila and some of these Rotalas here in the setup that we've just done. As in, you know, that setup. Because I want to fill in those back areas. And I only want to take a little bit off the top of these. So that works out perfectly. A little bit off the top of those. Into the top over in that tank. In that tank. And, you know, it'll just grow nice and steady. Just peeking over the top. Nothing too high to start with. And just keep it looking great. More examples of me letting plants overgrow. More examples of me letting plants overgrow. Look at that moss. It's fantastic, isn't it? I'm going to be stealing some of that for sure. I mean, in an ideal world, like, I just leave this as it is and they'd stay in there, they'd love it, but they'll get too big. Let's move them over. But obviously, before we move them over, I just want to get those last plants in, the last bits of details, the little bits of moss, all that sort of thing. Get that in, and then we can get those little piggies just swimming around in the water. Whoa. Lights out! Cheers, just the right timing. Battery on this thing lasts forever usually, but right when you need it. Right, I better charge that up. %. Oh, that's enough. We have light, and also, you know, doors are open for extra light because it is hot again. But all the temperatures are good. We're all good temperature-wise in the studio. Right, so as I said before, I was rudely interrupted by the light breaking out. We want to get our stems together now, start collecting them up. I'm going to take trimmings. I'm going to go down into my plant vat storagey thing down the bottom there. Right, so I don't know how well it come across on camera, but there's actually quite a lot of hair algae. I'm going to take the plants and do a bleach dip in them. So this is 5% bleach in a water solution. Big leaf plants you can put in for 3 minutes. Small leaf delicate plants put in for 2 minutes. Take them out and then put them in a load of clean water with 3 times the amount of dechlorinator you'd usually use, and that should fix things. You'll kill off the algae will probably still be on there, but you'll see that it will go like a pinky orangey colour over the course of a day, and that means it's dead and all gone. Best way to make sure there's no algae on your plants. So this is interesting, look. This is like a flowering kind of... Oh, it's not focused. There we go. Oh, we've got a little snail on there as well. it's like a little flowering bit that's sent up from this dwarf sage. So it's kind of like a mini Amazon sword, I guess, if you like. So it sends this up to the surface to grow out the top, because obviously I think in the wild or in nature these would grow at the edge of the river, so they'd sort of be in and out of water as sort of the water level rises and falls. I'm guessing anyway, but yeah, so you know, anything that flowers is obviously not designed to be underwater. There's our little flower, look on the end. Awesome. I'm still gonna have to trim it though. So I took out all the water there because it was just like really cloudy from all the planting. It would have cleared up with a filter, but let's start nice and fresh. The water had been in there a few days as well, to be honest. But now we need to get the filter moved across to this aquarium. So the awesome thing is that this tank has already got its own really well established filter. So I don't have to do anything in terms of cycling that new tank. All I've got to do is move the whole filter across, job done. I already dechlorinated all the water as well, so that won't harm any of the beneficial bacteria, wow, I said that fast, living in the current filter. We're up and running, which is good to see. I've been waiting for this for a long time. But there's one thing I want to add to this aquarium that's missing at the moment. Obviously, this is the moss I'm talking about. Look at that. It's like thick. I said it. Never mind, never mind. Keeping it in. We're keeping it real. So this top bit here is actually attached to a rock somewhere right in the depths of it. But I think that'll be really good just to sort of place in that back area. You won't see a lot of it. You'll just see a little bit, a little crown. So that's perfect. Look at how crazy that is. That's all attached to one little sort of pebble. It's gonna look awesome over there though. Oh, it smells really nice. Like, smells naturey. Right, so despite a million reflections, hopefully you can now see what I was going for there. So you can't see where that back edge now meets the horizon, and I think that blends it in really well. I might even give it a trim up as well, just to get it a little bit neater on that top, because I only want a little hint of it. I don't want it overtaken like it did before. But that's really cool. Loads of swim space like we designed. I will top the water up a little bit. I just didn't want it really full when I was putting my arms in it. It's all going to grow in thick as well in this area. In the corner there, I'm going to have the rotala growing up and the limnophilia. That's going to go really green and really poppy. It's going to look insane once that grows in. And this side as well, going to sort of build it up to where you top of where you see that inlet there. That's sort of the level I want it to arc across in. So if we step back, you can still see there's going to be an absolute ton of swim room. I mean, this tank goes back quite far as well, so sense of depth isn't very good when you've got a water-filled container, but there's about 30 centimeters in the front there, half the tank in fact, before you hit any sort of hardscape. Loads and loads of swim room. This is going to look cool. Shall we put the fish in next video? No, let's put the fish in. Let's put the fish in this video. Let's do this. You are going to your new home, guys. Oh, look at them. They're so cool. If you notice there, I picked them up with my hands. I just feel like picking up strong fish, and they are strong. They can swim very, very hard when they want to. I just think picking them up with my hands is a lot smoother than a rough net that, you know, scratch on their out slime coat and all that, but my hands are much softer. But let's put you in your new tank, guys. Right guys, excuse the quality, but I've just switched off the main light just so they can get accustomed to the tank and just settle in a bit better. They were hiding right at the back. Well, apart from Ghost, who was just bossing it. But Ember and Pumpkin, they were hiding right at the back corner, and now that they're properly exploring, which is what I wanted to do. I don't want them to be scared, do I? So keep that light off for a little while. They've got that light coming in, which seems to be quite nice, and they seem to like... They obviously feel safe, or they wouldn't be out in the open, so that's good. Just leave them alone for a little bit, and I'll come back and film them when they've settled in more. So I've just come in to have another look at him. Ember's not shy, don't worry about that. He'll be out in 2 seconds. There we go, look. Straight away, Ember's happy again. Let's sort out that white balance. There we go. Oh, he looks so cool in this light, doesn't he? It's really, really vibrant, and that's exactly what I wanted to go for as well. Massive swim room for him. I might just stick with the 3 guys. I mean, there is room for more. Should we add a 4th member? Go back to having 3 Ranchu crew, and then the ORanchu as well as an extra in Ember, because obviously Ember's not the same breed or morph, if you like, of goldfish as the other 2. Oh, they're loving it though. I love the way that Ember swims. La 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 la. So good.